guys, it's Anthony Tucker, class of 2007 from Bartlesville High School, and I'm here with my favorite high school principal and current superintendent at Bartlesville Public Schools, Chuck McCauley. Chuck, how are you doing this morning?
I am outstanding. How are you?
Doing good. I was going to say this is a pilot episode for Chuck and Tuck, but I didn't know how that would go over, so I just went with it. So we have some exciting things happening here at Bartlesville Public Schools. We just wrapped up the State of the Schools just a week ago. What were a few highlights that you'd like to touch on for our friends out in Bruin Nation?
Yeah, we had the best attendance we've had since, I believe that's our sixth one. We had around 300 people attend, which is our largest fundraiser for our foundation. And it's just an exciting time the week before school starts and getting everybody into the building. It's really just a great way to start off the school year.
Yeah, and I was excited, especially when you brought up the new ag building. I know that Blair Ellis with the Bartlesville Public Schools Foundation, you guys had a board meeting and welcomed some board members in there, I believe, last night. So it was good to see the excitement. I had a few people ask me from our community partners, "Hey, what's going on up there?"
Yeah. We're gonna have an open house actually on September 15th, which is a Sunday afternoon at 2:00. So if anybody out there wants to come take a look, we'd love for them to do so.
That's awesome. And I was in there during construction because we had a couple kids interning with Manhattan. And so I got to see behind the scenes, and it was so cool to watch those kids, especially Wyatt Lumley, who was interning at that location, be able to walk me through and be like, "Hey, I helped with this," or "I watched this go in." And also, guys, the animals have air conditioning. That was something I learned. I'm very jealous. So if you catch me out there, posted up with my Chromebook, I'm very jealous of those animals. So really excited for Marty and the team out there. I know that I was talking to Dr. Joel Manley yesterday, and he was like, "How do I get involved?" And we're going to have more of that. So exciting times for our kids. And speaking of exciting times for our kids, this year things are going to look a little bit different in October when it comes to our 8K and when you just publicly challenge all kids to, can you beat the superintendent in an 8K race? So this year, kind of tell me about what we're going to do different.
Yeah, probably the biggest thing is the venue is going to change. Traditionally, we've had that out at Wool Rock. However, their race fell during fall break, which is not good for school folks. So our foundation is going to host an 8K. It's going to be the week before, so Saturday, October 12th. Really excited about the change because one, it's going to be here in town. It's going to be using parts of the Pathfinder. So I think it'll be even easier to access for everybody, for our students, for our staff, and our community. So hopefully we can get some more involvement. And, I really try to push folks making an investment in themselves. And this is a great time of year to do it, kind of hopefully get in some good habits. And of course, I know there'll be several youngsters who'll be looking forward to outrun me like they did last year. I'm sure they'll do so again this year.
Yeah. And kind of talk to me about the Bruins on the Run, our no-cost after-school mentoring program for fifth graders.
Yeah, it's really a highlight of our school year. We've have so it's a fifth grade, it's an after-school running club for fifth graders, and it starts, it'll end with the 8K in October, and it typically starts around Labor Day, and kids run after school a couple days a week with volunteer teacher mentors, and these are fifth graders. And so last year, I believe we had around 115 kiddos, and then we had over 50 teachers willing to do that, and our teachers are just volunteering their time. And so this is something that any of our staff, they don't have to be an elementary teacher. If they're a middle school or high school and want to come over and volunteer to do that, we would encourage them to do so. So throughout the fall, they'll typically run a race or two, and then it ends with that 8K at the end of the year. So, and this is our school. Obviously, I kind of challenge our staff. We have a friendly competition among the most participants for our staff to participate in the race as well. And so with those two things going on, there'll be a whole lot of Bruins. Typically we'll have over, we'll have 100 fifth graders and then close to 200 staff. And I'm hoping those numbers, especially on the staff side, will be even better this year since it's in town, because, it's a little bit getting out to Wool Rock that early in the morning before the gates close can be a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah. My wife and I got married at Wool Rock, and we forgot the flowers. So Grandma and Grandpa had to run back to our place on Circle Mountain, and they got stuck behind a buffalo. So I know about the issues that can happen with our friends out there at Wool Rock, and we hope that it doesn't fall on fall break next year. They've been great partners for us.
Right.
But I'm excited because it's going to be October 12th. It's going to be in town.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty of spots, like Chuck's saying, along the path where you can cheer on your Bruins. And I know that's something I serve on that committee, that race committee with Blair and a few others. And we've been talking about how do we get the band involved? How do we hype this up? Because to your point, family members can truly get there. and come together as a community and celebrate as Bruins.
Yeah, I think in this year we've got a little bit. I think the course will probably change over the next year simply because they're doing some work on the Pathfinder this fall. Matter of fact, it started this week. I think a lot of the race is going to end up being over on the east side of town, which is probably starting in around Madison. But I anticipate probably in the future we'll have some more options what we could look at, maybe starting and ending around the ag facility. We have such wonderful facilities right there on that side of the path, and so I anticipate that probably being something where we can get folks into. We just talked about our new facility where we can actually get that's another opportunity where people can come in and use what we do have. So really excited about the future of the race, and I know it's going to be a great event.
Yeah, the start and finish at the ag building would be awesome. I think Mike Bailey and his squad and the volunteers that were there at Westland Church did awesome cleaning up after the tornado because you and I both run. Oh, yeah. And for a while, I'm just like running the streets of downtown, and I'm missing the Pathfinder, but they've done an amazing job, and I know that there's some planned improvements that will pay huge dividends for our community. So just patience is key, guys.
Sure. Well, and also too, I think as combination with our Bruins on the Run, it's an opportunity for our fifth graders, especially when on that side of the path, that's where a lot of our kids practice, and so that's a good training ground for them. And wanted to mention too, for our fifth graders, a lot of the kids that are involved, they're not involved in other things. These are not folks that are maybe playing soccer or football or whatever too. So it's really just a great opportunity for our kids to be involved. It's really a lot of fun.
And it's kind of like it allows kids, for adults, it's like couch to 5K.
Right.
It's very similar. My sister's kids, the middle daughter, she did it last year, had a wonderful mentor, and she was like in her 80s, and she was so fast. And I was like, I cannot get beat by this lady. God bless her. She's awesome. But the pride she took, that Addie took in competing, and she would make gradual gains. Now, the 8K at Wool Rock was tough with it incline, but it was amazing. And she got shoes. She just felt so connected. And I know that's not just unique to Addie there at Kane and with Tammy and her crew, but I know there's a lot of kids where there's a sense of pride, and they can take, personal responsibility and have mentorship for their physical fitness. And that's something I think that you're happier when you're outside. Take a break from iPhones and everything else that we have going on.
No, I agree. I think it's, our kids can set goals for themselves, and I think that's a great example, like a couch to 5K. It's something very similar for our youngsters, and just to know that they can do that. And many kids, I'll think about when I was that age, I didn't even know what an 8K or 5K was, and these kids are actually accomplishing that. So once they see that they can do that, I think it really opens the doors for them for their future.
No, and I agree. And there'll be opportunity to register online. There's sponsorship opportunities that, you'd have to contact Blair at our foundation. I know that you and Jennifer do sponsor a portion, so you can subsidize, so our staff members can partake. Same thing that you did in the past with the Wool Rock 8K.
Right.
So which is awesome, because it's only like, what, $15?
Yeah, we started with that, remember, a few years ago. And so I went from a $500 sponsorship. We had so many participating, ended up being about $2,500. Which Jennifer are happy to do because it's such a great program, and I just think it's we're very passionate about folks investing them in themselves, because many of our staff, they're here, we're just here to serve, and so sometimes the last people that they think about is themselves, and so hopefully this is just another opportunity where folks will make that investment in themselves so that they can invest in others.
And it's awesome, and thank you for doing that.
Sure.
Also, you have to dodge the fifth graders when you start off. What was it? It was Shamrock the Bill. There was a bunch of them out there, and I'm just like dodging them in the beginning because some of the kids, they're just learning pacing.
Sure.
They're just sprinting the first couple blocks, and I'm like, they're going to crash. It's just like when kids get sugar, right?
Oh, sure.
But it's so cool to see them all out there as a big group. And it will be awesome that we won't have to bust them all the way out there.
That's right.
And to folks out in Bruin Nation, Chuck and I were talking beforehand. The night before, the Bruins, Coach Harry Wright and the Bruins will be on the road, taking on them at the reigning state champs from 6A2, the Muskogee Roughers. That'll be a very emotional game. So there'll be plenty of time for you guys to make it back, to be able to partake in that. And we look forward to seeing everybody on the east side. I still call it the mid-high. It is Joey and his team over there at Madison. Anything else that you have on the calendar coming up in September that you want to talk about outside of the open house we have at the Ag Building?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Probably one big thing, just I mentioned it at our board meeting last night, was having free breakfast and lunch for all of our kids. The numbers were pretty staggering, pretty interesting. So through the first 3 days of school, if you compare the number, first of all, on the breakfast side, Our child nutrition department served 700 more breakfasts than they did the first 3 days a year ago. And then on the lunch side, they served 2,794 more lunches than they did the previous 3. So, that just goes to show me that it's a need. And I'm so glad that we have this for our kids. And I'm so impressed with the offerings that we have at our cafeteria. So would really encourage folks to, and that's a good thing for the department, just that use of it. So encourage everyone to take advantage of that. So just wanted to mention that's probably one big highlight that I want to just share as we get into the another exciting school year.
Yeah, and I think that's a really great point, Chuck. I grew up being a free or reduced lunch kid, and the pressure of like, am I going to have a balance? Am I not going to have a balance? Am I going to have food? So that's a huge relief for working class families who fit those categories. And it's so exciting that a kid can walk in and see something great, healthy option, especially now we got a chef, right?
That's right.
So that they're able to grab something and it's free, and they don't feel any social pressure either, because they can have the same food that their friends have. It might be in a completely different socioeconomic bracket.
That's right.
So it's very exciting. So we have a lot of great things going on at Bartlesville Public Schools. I'm Tuck. He's Chuck. We'll catch you next time.